welcome back to another episode of the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast. I am your host, Cynthia Jamison. How are you doing out there today? Today's episode is a little special because we're diving into a topic that's relevant not just for new leaders, it's much more universal. And it's about finding your personal power. So here's what I want to do. I want to take you through some components of personal power. And then I want to share with you what I was asked to share at an event I spoke to recently. I'm going to walk you through a lot of that so that you can get a sense of what it is for yourself. So, personal power, what is it? It's a concept that's often misunderstood. Some think it's about dominating others or having control over situations, but personal power is about knowing and embracing yourself, your strengths, your values, and your abilities to create positive change in your life and the lives of those around you. So, you might be asking yourself, where do we start in this journey to discovering our personal power, Cynthia? Now, you've heard me say this before, but everything begins with self awareness, especially in the context of personal power. We really have to become attuned to who we are, how we think, how we make decisions, and how we choose for ourselves to be in our power or not. So, one of the things that you can do is just take time to reflect on who you are, what you stand for, what brings you joy, what brings you fulfillment. And if you want some help with this, there are a couple of really great books that I have used that I thought were fabulous as I was on my own journey. One of them, the very first one is called Start Where You Are by Nirali Patel. Here it is. And the second is Know Yourself, a book of questions. Irene Smith and Astrid van der Hulst. I will link these up in the show notes, and you can choose whichever one serves you because, of course, you know you better than I ever will. But I recommend these types of explorations because understanding your values and understanding your passion is key to unlocking your own personal power. And if you've never done values work, I covered this in episode 3, and I invite you to give that episode a listen so that you can get more clarity on what those are for you specifically. Now, next, I want to. The next piece to it is about embracing our strengths. So each of us possess unique talents and abilities that make us who we are. So instead of focusing on our weaknesses, let's celebrate and leverage our strengths to make a positive impact. Remember, this is not about being perfect. It's about being authentically you. And if you're really not sure what some of your strengths are, reach out to some of the people that know you best and ask them. Say, hey, I'm really leaning into learning a little bit more about myself, and I'd be really curious. What do you think I'm really good at? Would you say my strengths are? And then see what comes back. And then out of what comes back, what patterns or themes do you see within that? Because that can speak more back to you and how you've shown up in the world. Now, another crucial aspect of personal power is confidence, which comes from believing in yourself and your abilities. And we're going to talk more about belief. But trust that you have what it takes to overcome the challenges that you're facing and achieve your goals, your dreams, your desires. Because here's the thing, your dreams, goals, and desires are not on anyone else's heart. And therefore, you have been given all of the strengths, all of the talents, all of the abilities, all of the wisdom, all of the knowledge that you need to be able to achieve them. So it also doesn't hurt when what you want for yourself is much more compelling than where you are, right? I've talked before about that compelling vision, something that can pull us toward, that can bring us out of the doubt that we might be experiencing, or out of the nervousness, or out of the negative emotion that might be keeping us stuck in some ways. So I want to also say that confidence is not about being arrogant. It truly isn't. Confidence is about having faith in your potential and embracing the opportunities in front of you in service of your growth versus staying on the couch, which is where our brains would love to have us stay. So, I also want to touch on mindset because cultivating a growth mindset is essential for unleashing our personal power. So, instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, if we want to unleash our power, there's a mindset shift that requires us to intentionally view obstacles as opportunities. Intentionally cultivating a positive and resilient mindset will empower you to navigate life's up and downs with much more grace and determination, much more ease and much more flow. I promise you. And it's so fascinating because in retrospect, I bet if you took a moment right now and thought about something that was the most challenging for you at whatever period of time in your life, looking back on it now, while you might have thought it was devastating at the time, looking back on it now with the benefit of the rear view mirror, you probably would see that as an opportunity that led you somewhere. Right. So when I think about like myself and a severance package that I received from an organization when I thought my life was quote unquote over, no, it led to magnificent, wonderful opportunities for me to lean into my capabilities, for me to lean into my strengths and what was possible for me. And of course, if it's possible for me, it's possible for you too. For you too. So the last piece is I want you to remember the importance of authenticity, being true to yourself, being true to your values in everything you do. Your authenticity is magnetic. It draws people to you. It inspires trust. It inspires respect. So don't be afraid to show up as your genuine self, flaws and all. And I know that's not what you were taught. I know that society has decided what is acceptable and what is not. I know that schools have decided what is acceptable and what is not. And the reality is, you are the author of your story. What if your opinion was the only one that mattered? What if you could choose for yourself? That's amazing. And you have that power within. That's what I'm talking about here. So to get back to the event that I was recently asked to speak on, Finding Your Power, it was a local event and it went really, really well. I was so happy with it and it was so much fun. And this is what sparked this episode. So I wanted to share some of what I talked about there so that of course you could benefit. You could hear it for yourself. You could take the that intentional choice for yourself to choose to stand up and step into your own power. And wherever you are in this moment, I want you to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how powerful do you feel in this moment? Just take a mental note. This isn't about anyone else. This is only about you. Now, this is my personal opinion about power, which is that it comes from choosing what you think, choosing what you want to feel, how you want to feel, choosing to believe in your self worth, in knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are enough, knowing that you have everything it takes to bring those dreams that are on your heart into life. So when we think we are not worthy or enough, it leads us to feeling inadequate. And when we feel inadequate, we engage in self sabotaging behaviors through all of the ways that I covered during the 12 Days of Christmas Leadership Challenge. So if you missed those short episodes, I invite you to go back and take a quick listen. But yes, when we think and feel this way, essentially we stay small. We don't want to put ourselves out there. And the result is we don't go after our dreams because we think we're not worthy or that we're not enough in some way. And so essentially what happens is we come full circle to the original thought that we had about ourselves, which is that we're not worthy. And when we think we're not worthy or enough, it just doesn't feel good. And you can always change that, right? We can always change that. So here's the thing. You are one of 8 billion souls on the planet. I want you to hear that. You are one of 8 billion souls on the planet. No one else has your experience. No one else has your story. No one else has your perspective. No one else came here to do what you came here to do, whatever that is. And you might not be able to answer that today, and that's okay. But I want you to know that you are destined for greatness. Otherwise, you would not be here, and you have gifts, you have dreams on your heart that are there for a reason, and your 1 in 8 billion blueprint is a unique perspective only you can bring to this world and the people around you. So just think about that for a moment. What would, I often ask people within the career coaching that I do, what is it that exists in your organization because they hired you, not what everybody else is doing? What did they get because it was you? So, your power, a couple more things on power. Your power does not exist outside of you, it exists within you. It's not out there somewhere. You are a creative, resourceful, and whole human being. You have all of those answers inside of you. You are the subject matter expert on you. You will know you more than anyone else ever would. And so think about that when you abdicate your opinion to someone else, when you give authority over you and yourself to someone else. Just think about that for a moment. So now I want to do something a little different. And if you're driving, you might want to press pause and come back to this when you can participate, or you can listen now. And when you can gift yourself a few more moments, bring yourself through this again. So I want to walk you through a breath exercise designed to calm our central nervous systems. And then I want to walk you through a visualization to connect you to your most inner powerful self. And so if you want to close your eyes, do so. If not, that's fine too. There is no right, there is no wrong. Trust that you know you better than anyone else ever will. And so just take a deep breath in and then take a long exhale. If it's useful to you, you can use your two hands and leave one hand up and the other one can travel down over your fingers and your palm and just notice all of the sensations that you feel. This will help you drop from your thinking brain down to your body. And just breathe as you do that. Just noticing. No attachment, no blame. Now keep your eyes closed if you're comfortable with that. And just imagine a screen coming down in front of you. And this screen has some real magical abilities. And it's rewinding. You're pressing rewind to a point in your life where you choose where you felt the most powerful, where you were on top of your game, you were on top of the mountain, you were on top of the world, whichever metaphor you like, and just drop into that moment from a place of reviewing, not judging, and just notice all of the details for yourself. Who were you with? What were you doing? What were you wearing? What were the strengths, the talents, the values that got you there? What was your unique essence? Recall what you were thinking. What were you feeling? And what were you believing about yourself? And then I want you to ask yourself, how did I create this? And if it feels useful, just take a mental note here. So now I want to invite you to refocus back on this screen once again, because there's another version of you. There's another version that is your wiser elder self. So imagine you press fast forward and that you're going to meet them because you are at this fork in the road about an important or significant decision you need to make. But in this moment, this important or significant decision is about your power. And your wiser elder self is 80 or 90, and they're sound of health and mind and body. And they come towards you, they embrace you, and they invite you to sit. And you do. And after you've settled in for a moment, you ask, what wisdom can you share that will help me unlock and harness my inner personal power? And just let them speak. Now, whatever they share, trust that it's in service of your highest and best self. And just sit for a moment, another few seconds. And as you prepare to leave, I want you to thank them, give gratitude, let them know that you'll be back because this is your inner guide and they are available anytime you need them because you know you better than anyone else ever will. And take a few seconds to take any mental notes that you wish to take. And now I want to invite you to take a big breath in for 2 and then out for 4, releasing anything that you feel no longer serves you. How is that? I would love to know. If you can take a moment and send me a message, I would be so appreciative, so gracious of that. Now, the way that I define power for myself, and this is the journey that I have been on for my entire life, but especially the last couple of years, is power is when I choose what I think, what I want to feel, how I want to feel, what I believe on purpose in my own mind, in my own time. Because I believe that we always have the power of our minds and it loves to create what we think we want, or said differently, thoughts are things. I have giving credit here to Mike Dooley, who writes for Letters of the Universe, which are amazing daily doses of inspiration. So if you want to have more of that in your life, I encourage you to sign up if that resonates with you. And I will try to remember to put that link in the show notes. But I also want to show you how you can do this too. So, whatever circumstance you're in, you will have a thought about that circumstance. And then that thought will create a feeling within you. And then that dynamic determines how you show up. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier. So, the action you take and don't take, which leads to a result that you get. So, if I think that I'm not worthy, I come full circle to that thought. If I think that I'm worthy, I come full circle to that thought. And so, for example, if you had the thought you were not empowered, you would likely feel a lack of confidence, a lack of autonomy, and a lack of authority. Essentially, you would feel disempowered. So, if this was your mindset, you might micromanage, you might avoid making decisions, you might seek approval, you might undermine others, you might neglect your own development. These are types of behaviors that undermine your authority. And you've then created this inner experience for yourself just by following the thoughts and the feelings and the actions or the inactions that you take. They create the result that you have. Now, so on the other hand, if you had the thought, I am empowered, you would feel confident, self assured, and fulfilled. And if this was your mindset, here's what I think you might do. You would take initiative. You wouldn't wait for instructions, but instead you would identify areas for improvement. You would take action. You would make positive change. You would likely also inspire other people in the doing of all of that. You would delegate. You would embrace feedback. And the result of this over time is that you'd create and foster a positive and supportive environment where everyone thrives, even you. And you would also not participate in complaining, indulging in unproductive thought patterns, or giving your power away to external opinions. And you would have again created this inner experience. So here's what's so fascinating. Both experiences are available, and I've lived in both of these inner states. And I can promise you that by taking this beautiful brain that you have and training it, directing it, redirecting it, focusing it, refocusing it, you will take responsibility for owning your thoughts and your feelings and how you show up. And when you do, you will create the result you intended. I have done it. And this is how I have done it from a conscious place of intentionality. And this is not magic. It's not it sounds easy, it's not easy, but it can be done and it's so incredibly powerful. And the truth of the matter is you have the key all along. So getting back to what I was saying, it's not easy to take responsibility for ourselves, our lives, and our dreams. It's not easy to set ourselves up for growth versus the status quo, which is where our beautiful brains love to keep us back on the couch, in the house, not at those networking opportunities, not saying yes, not asking for the raise, not asking someone out, not proposing potentially, whatever it is for you. And the work is reminding ourselves that what we're thinking, feeling, and directing our minds back to is what we're consciously creating. You are the creator of your life. So there's one key element I want to touch on here, which is belief. I said earlier I'd come back to it. You can think the most amazing thoughts, but if you don't believe them, it won't be enough to generate the feelings and the energy that you need to follow through. And so I want you to find a thought that's powerful for you. And the more you think that, the more you will believe it. And the more you'll speak and breathe in your dreams into being, you will actually bring everything into being. And as you do this work and remind yourself, no brain, we're no longer thinking that. We're thinking this instead. This is the work of redirecting your mind, right? It's going to serve you up those previous shitty thoughts. And you're just going to remind it that we're not thinking that. We're thinking this instead. And you're creating that inner experience for yourself. Now, as Henry Ford says, and you've probably heard me say this before because this quote is so resonance with me. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. And so here are some questions that I ask myself and my clients in support of helping them and myself step into our power. The first one is, what beliefs do you need to adopt to fully embrace and express your power? What do you need to believe about you in order to step into your power? What might you need to let go of that's weighing you down? And if you say yes to your power, what are you saying no to? Now, I want to bring you back to the same scale that we used at the beginning. So, on that scale of 1 to 10, where would you like your power to be in the next week, in the next month, in the next year? Is there any permission that you need to give yourself? Is there a pledge that you want to make to yourself? Here's what I know: finding your personal power is such a journey. It is not a destination. It requires self reflection, it requires courage, it requires a willingness to embrace your true self. But trust me, the rewards are worth it. When you tap into your personal power, you become unstoppable, capable of achieving anything that you set your mind to. All of our dreams are on the other side of our fears. And because I've been on this journey for so long and I'm always learning, I want to offer you that judging yourself, criticizing yourself, comparing yourself are all negative things that do not serve your highest and best self. So instead, I invite you to be kind, to be compassionate, to be loving toward yourself. It's far more powerful and it creates a very different inner experience. And here's the thing: you always get to choose. Both are available to you every day, all day, everywhere, anytime you like. So I do hope that you found this incredibly helpful on your quest to finding and unleashing your own personal power. Right? I want to remind you, you are stronger, you are more capable, and you are more deserving than you realize. And you have everything you need. So until next week, I invite you to keep choosing you, keep re-choosing you. You will fall down. That's okay. That's part of learning. You are enough, you are worthy, and you deserve it. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Hey there, it's Cynthia. Thanks for being a part of the Who Are You to Lead Anyway journey. Join my newsletter for exclusive updates and resources. Get a complimentary self-discovery workbook at www.cynthiajamisoncoach.ca. Your feedback shapes this show, so share your thoughts. And if you love the podcast, help spread the word. Thanks for investing in your leadership growth. Let's thrive together.